Amarim said even in the Fulham game, after the Fulham game in the press conference, what did he say? He said, I needed some pace, like on the counter attack. You know, he said, I needed some physicality, some pace, you know, an outlet. And I think it would help just purely from a physical perspective. It helps Man United out. I mean, you can't just let Diallo do all like the physical pace stuff all the time because Hoyland can't hold up the ball. Xerxes, I think, mows faster than him. So it's just not, it makes no sense. You need help.
So when you review, again, I'm not a tactico, so I don't study managers' tactics before. Like, I wouldn't have been studying Amarin a year ago, watching what he was doing.
I thought you do your research.
I do research, but I'm not a tactico. So I would never profess to be a tactical expert. All right. Yeah, I know, right? I'm playing into the joke. Let me finish. Like, I would never profess to be a tactical expert because I read or watch some scouting reports, but I have a good idea. And I've watched 2 or 3 in the last few days because they're talking about what Patrick Dorgu can bring us. And essentially they're explaining that Delow's fine, Maz is fine, Ahmad's okay, but none of them are the specialists in that role that are needed. And a lot of the specialism that's needed is the physicality to essentially run up and down the touchline all day. And I wasn't even overly aware of this because, again, I don't profess to be a tactical expert on any particular manager's style. Currently, the way Amarin plays, a lot of people in Portugal, I was reading in the last 24, 48 hours, state that his fullbacks are actually the most important component of his system. So, yeah, look, I mean, the reason what they really need is power, pace, speed, stamina on top of good technical ability. So, look, I'm intrigued to see how these work out. I'm not getting ahead of myself. One of them isn't even here yet. There's not even a here we go. But if we pull them both off, I'm excited. But I'm grounded in that excitement, if that makes sense. So, and we'll see how it
I'm a Man United fan that can say that. Oh my God, the excitement about Dorgu, a Serie B player from Lecce that just gets. He's a young 19 years old. At least you're realistic, bro. Man United fans in the chat. Oh my God, Terry said it. Don't be that excited. He shouldn't be the guy to bring it in.
He's in Serie A, right? They're in the top league, right?
Yeah. Okay, they are.
He was in Serie B last season, right?
Yeah. My point about this is that when I watched this Dorgu thing, I'm like, what happened to Man United? Who's this guy that they're paying 30 million pounds for him or 25 million pounds plus? I was looking for Man United to fill the hole with someone better. And then Terry explained it and said, oh yeah, in the summer, we'll get the left wing back that will start and this guy will be the understudy. Now I can be behind the signing. But before that, I'm like, he's the 19 years old, bro. Like, this is 19-year-old.
No,
I agree. Did Man United went to the... Man United used to sign the superstar. And every time we talk about Man United...
I will tell you this, Mo, though, to be honest.
Let me finish that next point.
Robertson got relegated with Hull City, Liverpool bottom for 3
Someone
million.
commented on that on my video and I said, which is the same. We analyze signings at the time they happen, not in hindsight. At that time...
So you would have said the same thing about Robertson.
100%. I would say the same thing about my club, my man. If it's an underwhelming signing for Man United, if this is the guy that is coming in, I'm not saying it's not going to work. The guy is raw. He has pace, he has power and everything. But I lived through the time where Man United signed the superstars, signed the big names. And the problem is...
Can I tell you why you're wrong?
Hold on. Let me say the next one. You'll see where I'm going with this. Let me see. I'm not right at the road. People are
where I want him. He's in the corner.
Yeah, Habibi, let me finish the next point.
Go ahead. He's so
the problem is, every time we say that, Man United fans, but we are a big club. We signed Pogba when we had no this. We signed Zlatan when we had no this. We signed this guy when we had no this.
Yeah, but I need to ask Mo a question quickly before I go to you. I want to understand something. So when you say Man United always sign the big players, in our successful era in our lifetime, which was Fergie's, who are these big players, in your opinion, that we were signing all the time? Who were they? Who are the names?
Oh, you definitely signed big players in the Fergie era. Come on.
Okay. No,
Carrick from Spurs. I'm going to give you examples as far as I remember, okay? Yes. Carrick, I think Spurs. Rio Ferdinand was one of the best defenders in the world. Remember Wayne Rooney was the big name in Everton. He was the next upcoming star at that time. Who was it? Louis Zaha?
Louis Zaha was at Spurs or Everton, I think.
Yeah, was something like this. Was the big name. Berbatov was
Robin
great. You signed Robin Van Persie. My point, even after that era, Terry, you went and signed Di Maria from Real Madrid. You went and signed. You get my point. You get my point. And not every player, but these are the ones I'm talking about.
But the reason why, and this is, I wanted to understand who you considered to be.
Van Nistelrooy as well. He was the top scorer in the division.
Let me respond now. I'm not challenging your answer. I just wanted to understand who you consider to be those players. What I would say is, and this isn't.
Can I challenge his logic, please? Actually,
hang on. We'll come back to his logic in a minute. I want to explain something
Oh my
about
God, everyone wants to challenge Mo. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not even challenging Mo. I'm not. I'm trying to explain some logic so you both understand Man United a little bit better. I agree with the names you've mentioned as marquee signings in the Fergie era. And the reason I want to use the Fergie era is because we had success in that time, which is why this point I'm about to make holds water. Man United fans have got to understand that not every signing is a marquee signing, and it doesn't always happen in the order in which you want. Because when you look at all those signings that were made, in that same period, we brought in Patrice Evra and Vidic. We brought in Park Ji-sung as an example. Those guys were not considered marquee signings when they came in. A lot of the time, they were, who the fuck are these signings? As an example.
I know you give examples, but this guy's... Okay, I'll continue. He was a finalist in the Champions League.
But you're not... Again, but listen, I was living in Manchester at the time. I was at games, and it was a, who the fuck is he signing? It wasn't football like it is now, where everyone's on PlayStation, everyone's online. These players were signed, and it wasn't like everyone in the ground was saying, you know what? We've got to go and get that amazing left back from that other Premier League team. He wasn't a player that the world was saying. It was a good signing, but he was a player that was still relatively unknown. We signed Rooney that season. Yeah, we absolutely did. But we also went and bought Gabriel Heinz. Again, a very good player. He was at PSG. But nobody was going, that's the man that's going to make us a better football team. You can go back and look at Ronnie Johnson. You can go and look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You can look at Javier Hernandez. Now, within that group, again, everyone in Mexico knew who Javier Hernandez was. Maybe if it was today, not 2010, and it was 2025, we'd all be a bit more aware of him because of social media. But this is what I would say to Man United fans. Yes, we've gone through, in the Fergie era, we signed big players or really young players that the world was hyping up. Ronaldo, Rooney, as you mentioned. But we also signed a lot of other players that were well-known. So Tell would be someone that is well-known, but maybe doesn't have the biggest hype around him. And we signed loads of players like Dorgu, who we all went, oh, I don't really know who he is. I don't know much about him. And he works out well for us. Now, that's not a guarantee these signings will happen. I'm just saying to Man United fans, stop being so hung up on every single signing having to be the marquee final piece of the jigsaw. Why are we buying youngsters and not more experienced people? It's going to take 3 or 4 summer transfer windows to build this squad. Okay, we haven't even had one yet under Ruben Amorim. Stay calm.
How much are you paying for Dorgu?
Come. Dorgu
25 million pounds plus
25 million pounds, yeah. Yeah.
Plus 5 add-ons, which is very, it's not going to happen. The add-ons is like making champions.
Yeah, I was told by a journalist yesterday that add-ons are, if we win a major trophy in the next 3 years, so Premier League or Champions League, or if we qualify for the Champions League in the next 2 years, they get 2.5 million. If we win a trophy, that one of the big ones in the next 3 years, they get another 2.5 million. So essentially, we're paying 25 million pound for him.
Essentially, that's 35.
To be honest,
yeah. Okay, let me tell you more.